Hey y'all, hope you're having fun. Got the inspection done. Everything's been sent in email. Emily has given me a check. Pest inspector, I'll just go ahead and say he didn't find anything. He said there's some old bait stations around the house. Looks like it might be preventative, but he did not think that they were being maintained. But the good news is it should be a clean report when you get it. I haven't seen it, but he said he didn't find anything. Radon test did come in over 4.0, which I was not surprised because of where it is. This location is kind of high radon all the time, but that's in the report that needs further evaluation by a radon mitigation specialist. But glad you chose to do that because I knew it would be high anyway. I'm going to go into the report. We're going to go over the summary. When you get everything, do read the whole thing. The first 10 pages, mostly checklists, but there's some FYIs and just so you know. And as we go along, I'm going to kind of breeze over a number of these things since Emily is very familiar with probably 95+% of what I'm going to be saying, and is very easy for her to explain that further. If there's something I think that's more out of the ordinary, I'll talk about that more. Board doesn't allow opinions in the report, so there won't be any opinions, but I'll probably throw some opinions out there as I go. Okay, so first section, and I'm just going to go through it in the order it's in the report. There are some concrete cracks and settling in the driveway and the garage floor. Concrete cracks, it's not a matter if, it's a matter of when and how bad. And you know, this house is 32 years old, so what's done is probably done. You can have it ground, you can have it patched, you can touch it up, monitor it over time, see if it cracks again, but most likely it's already done. There's my opinion. There's some high grade at the left and rear. Most of it honestly is pine needles that have been built up over time. And it looks like it's all draining away from the foundation, but you really should have clearance between ground cover and grade and the siding so you can, avoid attracting moisture and pests, but that'll be fairly easy to clean away. Let's see, exterior vegetation contact with the structure should be cut back. Once again, attracts moisture and pests, so you don't want stuff growing against the house, especially vines. Get rid of the vines. People think they're pretty, but they're detrimental. Exterior penetrations, so pipes, wires, vents, conduits, hoses, window and door openings, and brick and cladding, so on and so forth. A lot of these things weren't required to be silicone when the house is built, but they require it now, so I have to note it. But basically any crack, or crevice, or anything water can follow through into the wall structure should be silicone sealed. And there's example pictures that you'll see. There's also some damaged siding and trim. So here's like a transition in material. You have your faucet on the outside, it should be silicone on the top. Where J-channel goes around the window, where wires go through damaged siding. Here's a vent that has never been secured and sealed. Pipe penetration, vent penetration. This is actually the vent fan for the microwave. It does vent to the exterior. Just basically, here's a line set for the heating and air. Zero silicone around that. I can't believe that. But basically, all of these things need to be done. Handyman with 50-year clear silicone and a caulking gun could take care of it in about an hour, most likely. Let's see. The obligatory exterior wood, there's not much. Most everything is either brick, vinyl siding, or wrapped in aluminum. But we do have this, just deck, step platform on grade at the sliding glass door. And it's kind of weathered. So I just used it as my example of exterior wood components that need to be checked, paint, caulking, touched up. This would actually not be caulked, it'd be more sealed and, stained and sealed, or just sealed. Let's see, angle irons over brick or over windows and doors that carry brick. We can see how it's rusting there. and that just needs to be painted to arrest that rust so it doesn't allow the brick angle iron to fail eventually. Door jambs should be silicone sealed to the threshold, and the threshold silicone sealed to what it's sitting on, so that would be both sides of the door and across the front. It's actually a manufacturer's installation requirement, but you don't want water going in or under. This is actually the garage service door, and it actually has a storm door on it. So there's not much water getting there anyway, but technically it should be done. And then you'll read things such as damage may already be present but not visible. Understand the board's required verbiage is in the report. You're getting more of a realistic version out of my mouth, and the quicker version, because like I said, Emily is going to know, understand, and has seen this thousands of times. Let's see, number 6, no weep holes installed in the brick veneer. They did install weep holes in brick veneer when this house was built, and they should have been required by code, though they may not have done it on this, depending on how they ran the brick down to the footer. I know back in the early 90s, they were letting brick go down to the footer and the water dissipate into the soil because it was a slab. Nowadays, they would still flash it and turn it out. Of course, I don't see any evidence of any damages on the inside that would make me think that moisture is not dissipating. And there's honestly not a whole lot of brick on the front of the house anyway. So I don't think that's a big deal. I grew up in an old house with no weep holes and never had an issue. And then there's some damage to the storm door in the rear. The storm door that's on the garage door just looks like some water's gotten into it, kind of bubbled it out. Honestly, it's more cosmetic than anything, but I figured I would just throw it in the report for your information. Roof, satellite dish mounted on the roof. Can't stand those because it was kind of hard to see because of the trees, but you can see the shiny bolt head. I was able to catch at least one bolt head, but there's 4 there, and there's a rubber gasket between the mount and the shingles, and that's all well and good, but if you don't seal those heads, the bolts eventually rust and the water goes through and into the structure. So we don't want that. And if you take it off, it'd be best to replace the shingle tabs and not just fill the holes with some sort of material. Then we have plumbing vent pipe roof boots they appear to be caulked. This one actually appears to be repaired, like they took another piece of a boot and went over top of the boot. You're not supposed to repair roof boots, you're supposed to replace them. Check them once a year for cracks and replace them every 5, whether they're cracked or not. You don't want to wait until they're cracked and start leaking. But repairs, they typically fail prematurely, so it's best to change out the roof boots. There's also debris that I noted on the roof and in the gutters. Just need to clean that off and out to prevent backups and damages. Let's see. So in these pictures, you see one's the water heater, one's the heat and air up in the attic. Both vent pipes have some rust and corrosion on them. If that rusts through and cracks, water could get through. So somebody would probably be doing good to go up there and sand the rust off and spray it with, Rust-Oleum to arrest the rusting of that pipe so it doesn't deteriorate any further.